called Cage. They've been protesting outside Colic Greyhound track. They said they were concerned about 68 dogs, which they think are unaccounted for. Those dogs are owned and trained by Peter Harnden, who runs the Salicas racing team based in Nottinghamshire. Rita James is from Caged.
We would like them to tell us their whereabouts, because these dogs have now stopped racing.
68 dogs. What do you think he might have done with them?
We don't know. We're hoping that, the majority haven't been destroyed. That's what we're hoping. And this is why we're asking them to account for them. Because, we are worried. He's not the only trainer out there with so many dogs. It's questionable about what's happening to all these dogs that are going missing every year. Then I think, we have a right to ask the question, and they should answer us, really.
So how likely is it, do you think, that trainers are destroying their dogs?
I think some of them highly likely. Not all of them, but highly likely, yeah. Some will just destroy them because they don't want to pay a fee to a rescue to put them up for adoption. Others may destroy them just because they're not of any economical value anymore.
Well, after that interview went out, Peter Harnden invited BBC Radio Nottingham to his kennels. He says he can account for all of those 68 dogs, and although the exact details of each one haven't been released, he says only a couple of those 68 have actually been put down in accordance with industry rules and regulations, in which he'd take them to a vet. Now, most of the other dogs, he says, have been rehomed, while he still has some of them. Over the last 20 years he's been in the industry, he says on average he's only had to put a couple of retired dogs a year down, due maybe to injury or if they are aggressive, and therefore, he says, couldn't be rehomed. Before explaining why the industry as a whole isn't more open about such matters, he showed me round the kennels.
We're looking at what we call the new incomers block. So this is where, the youngsters come in. I have got that one we've been wagging tail. That's Salicas Matt, who actually broke his hock at Peterborough. And the reason he was here on that one is because it's a low bed. So he can get in and off okay without doing himself any damage, etc. And he's been in intensive training, so he comes out a lot.
So we go through to another section here, through the huge gate, and here are sort of concrete wall kennels, I guess, with the gates on the front. So these are all in pairs. What's that?
They're not all in pairs, nearly all in pairs, because they seem to enjoy each other's company more. They have a bit of interaction with each other, etc. So, it just keeps them happy.
And there's one more little section as well, isn't there? This is
isolation block. So if anything's not very well or anything like that, you don't want it passing through all the kennels. So you'll put it into the isolation block, or you have bitches in season. So if a bitch comes in season, these are all singles.
How much time do they spend in these fairly small kennels?
They come out 4 times a day, and it'd be half an hour at a time. So they come out first thing in the morning when they're cleaned out, because obviously you've always got to clean them out, and then they'll go back in, and they're brought out again later. They're groomed. They go out the exercise. They're groomed. They might go on the walking machine. Then they're back out for dinner time later on, and then they go and get their head down for a while.
It's still, though, 22 hours a day then, roughly, in a kennel where they can't really see either side, just looking out through the fence at the end and looking at a blank wall. Is that a good life for them?
Well, I like my bed, and I'd probably get my head down for 12 hours a night if I could, but I don't get that in this job. But
they're not sleeping, are they? They're awake and they're in there.
You say they are, but you see how quiet they are. They've got their head down. They're not wanting to get up. They're not wanting to get around. And I say to people ask me the question, say, you think of the cheetahs in the wild, who are the same type of animal. They've got their head down all day, and they'll just get up for one hunt, and then they're down again. And they've got wilderness to run around in, and they don't. They've got their heads down, and they're happy.
It is a business,
yeah,
of course, and businesses run to make money.
I've never made money in 20 years.
Do you have an emotional attachment to these dogs?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, that's it. You say it's a business. It's not a business. Since 1997, I've run the kennels. I think 1 year I made a profit, and I've never earned a wage out of it.
Why do it then?
Because it's my hobby. It's my passion. It's my love. I grew up with it. My father ran Long Eaton Stadium. I grew up with it, and once you get a passion for something, and these dogs are beautiful. I went racing yesterday from 4 o'clock. I got home at 2:30 in the morning for £40.
There is an accusation about these 68 dogs which haven't been accounted for.
Yeah.
Where are they?
They are accounted for. All what's happened is people have seen dogs of mine which have finished racing and just said, where are they? Well, like with any person's dogs, they can be different areas. A lot of my, I say a lot, majority of my dogs then go to pet homes. The problem is in any sort of walk of life, you do have things what go wrong, and we do have things what go wrong, but most of mine are all retired.
So most?
Yeah, I'd probably say, well, we worked it out, I'm on a 98%, so 98% of my dogs will be rehomed of mine, what I can do anything about. So it's, you know, I'd like to get it to a 0%, but I'm a reality person. You know, I can't get it to 100% because there is accidents. I don't want accidents. I'd rather never see an accident because they are my, you know, I love them to bits. They're my pet dogs, really.
Why is this industry so secretive? It's self-governing, and it's taken you really until now to answer to the question as to where these 68 dogs were that they couldn't account for. Why is it all so secretive?
I think it's because people are worried to actually say, yeah, sometimes a dog does get lost. You know, it does get put to sleep because they know as soon as they say that, people are going to be up in arms. And so it's always been a case of trying to hide from the fact that, you know, dogs might get they'll put down. But that's not the norm. You know, that is like the worst case scenario, which is not very often.
But you think you're hiding that because people who go to the dogs, well, as an industry, you think it's being hidden away a little bit maybe because of the worry of the way people might react and how that would affect how often they'd go down to the dog track?
I don't think they're worried about the public. I think they're worried about the anti-greyhound people using it as a fighting tool for those because they don't want greyhound racing. It's not a case of improving welfare. Anybody who wants to increase better welfare, I'd talk to them every day of the week because we're all for that. But I think it's a case they want to stop greyhound racing. So anybody who wants to stop something, nobody wants to give them any ammunition to give them an argument on anything. So, but I disagree with that. I'm not hiding away. You know, that's why I've asked you guys to come today. I'm not hiding. I think we do have to talk. I think we do have to discuss things and come up with things and make things better. You know, greyhound racing is one of the biggest sports in the country. I think it's the second largest spectator sport, so it's not going to stop. What we all want to be doing is trying to make it a bit better.
The suspicion that surrounded these 68 dogs was raised, they might say, by a lack of information.
Yeah.
So, shouldn't the greyhound racing industry be more open? Maybe not be self-governing? If you've got nothing to hide, then shouldn't that be the way forward?
I don't agree with shouldn't be self-governing because people, if they don't understand things and it's just a carte blanche, a stamp on a paper saying, right, we're going to do this, they don't, you know, they get things wrong. You need people who actually understand, etc. I do agree sometimes we should be more open and people should be willing to talk. It's not a bad industry. There's negatives in every walk of life, and while you're not talking, not willing to talk, people will think it's worse than what it is, and it's not. So I do accept that people should talk more.
Peter Harnden, who has a greyhound racing team based in Nottinghamshire and which run at the Colic racetrack, talking to David for BBC Radio Nottingham. It's 8:03 now. Good morning.